Links TV, the leading experience.
My name, once again, is Kayode Olorundare, and I have with me here Barrister Akeem Agbaje.
Thank you very much, sir.
As you know very well, that he aspired to be the candidate for the APC in the last primary elections of the party. But today we are not really talking about politics. We're talking about the development of Nigeria. I believe that his ambition, his aspiration to have that kind of ambition is that he wants to develop his society. Am I wrong, sir?
Yeah, very correct. Very...
And we have a society that economically it is down. And though you are aspiring to be a state governor, is there anyhow in which the government in the state can lift up the economy of the society?
Well, to start with, there are some key factors that needs to be in place for the economy to, they're like foundational for the growth of the economy. One is energy, electricity to be specific.
Yeah.
Another one is the manpower to support industries.
Okay.
The third critical element is the ease of doing business.
Okay.
Now, to start with electricity, it is the cheapest source of energy for both industrial, commercial, and domestic use. So it's very critical for the development of any society. So you must have affordable and sustainable supply of electricity. That is key. But you have to look at it at what are the challenges that have impeded the development of the electricity sector. One of the key challenges has been government, particularly the federal government. They are the sole regulator of
the industry.
Not the industry particularly, but the public utilities electricity supply. Because if you are saying the industry, you have to look at self-generation, which is like 10 times the electricity generated by the public sector. So for certain level of generation, you don't need the regulator. You don't need like a license for it.
Really?
Yes, if you are doing less than 1 megawatt, you can put your generator there and it will go. So that's a primary challenge.
Okay.
Now, because of regulation, access to where it is needed is also sometimes a challenge. Now, another
laying of cables, you mean?
No. Some areas now are exclusive to some of the discos. You can't just go there and say, I want to generate. No. Particularly, public distribution of electricity is reserved for the discos. So then, if you want to go in, it's about access. How easy is it to go and operate, even in the underserved areas? Another challenge is the theft of electricity. It's rampant People don't want to pay for electricity. Another challenge is the pricing. The pricing is not cost reflective, and this will naturally discourage investments in the sector. If it costs somebody maybe 50 naira, 60 naira to generate 1 kilowatt of electricity, and you're asking him to be charging 50 naira, he will not put his money in that sector.
I know you are a player in the electricity industry, and I'm sure you know exactly what you are talking about. And for me, it looks gloomy. And I'm asking that, first of all, let me ask, are you satisfied with the discourse, the performance of the various discourse? Are you satisfied with their performance?
You see, typically Nigerians, we ask back-end questions like, oh, are you satisfied? Are you happy? Is it working?
Exactly.
But when you design something to fail, asking whether you are happy about it or not begs the question, was the privatization process designed to succeed? The clear answer is no, because the discos were sold to people that lack the technical capacity and the financial capacity to bring in the required investment into the sector. So there's no way that performance can be optimal. And with that, I don't know of any disco that is performing satisfactorily in Nigeria today, more than 10 years after the privatization.
The reason why I asked the question is that privatization is not supposed to be the road towards adequate electricity supply in Nigeria or in any country. Therefore, why have we failed? Why don't we want to take the natural pathway towards the industry? I've spoken with a lot of people. Some of them are very skeptical. They don't even believe that electricity can be generated. And now that you are talking about 1 megawatts or lower than, or down, that one does not need a license for it. Don't you think that the enabling environment, that law is enabling enough to have enough capacity on ground? The point that you have pinpointed that the last arm of the industry, that is the distribution of it, it's where the problem lies.
No. It's a value chain thing.
Okay.
Now, in the electricity value chain, you have the gas producers.
Okay.
Now, they have two arguments. The gas producers have two arguments.
Okay.
They believe the price being paid for gas is low. And
gas producers.
Yes, it discourages investment. There's a special price tariff for gas to power.
Okay.
That is gas used for generation of electricity.
Okay.
They enjoy a different, much lower tariff.
Okay.
Then there is also the issue of sufficient of supply of gas.
Okay. Why is that?
And
Weather.
No, not weather. You see, we're actually a gas economy,
Okay.
not a petrol oil economy. Now, investment, most of the gas we use are just off oil fields.
Okay.
And the investment in the pure gas fields has not been forthcoming because the utilization of that gas is a challenge. Now, local consumption is low.
Okay.
Now, you can't just export gas, it's also processed
Okay.
into liquefied natural gas. So the LNG facilities we have are not sufficient to meet the capacity of or the volume of gas available. So the investment in pure gas fields is not as proficient as investment in oil
Oh,
fields. So we have sufficiency of gas, we have the gas pricing. Now the area of the generators of electricity, that is the GenCos,
okay.
they also have the issue of the cost is not, the pricing is not, the tariff is not cost reflective. They also have shortage of gas supply. The third part of the value chain is the transmission company. Now the infrastructure in that sector is weak, very weak. So that's why you have system collapse every now and then. They are not able to wheel as much energy to the discos. And a number of these gencos that we have, they have higher capacity than they are producing.
Okay.
Some are 600 megawatts plant doing maybe 300 because the transmission lines cannot carry those force. That's another thing. Then the discos, they have this issue of technical capacity. They don't have the required technical enough personnel
Okay.
to be effective. Secondly, the cost of electricity also for them is too low, it's not cost reflective. They also have electricity theft. The normal theft is somebody bypassing the meter, or that's a normal, but they have, with the advent of technology,
Okay.
they even have people that use their hack into systems to vend electricity. So you have different challenges that the investment required and the cost recovery, there's a disconnect between both of them. That the investor does not have assurance that, oh, if I put this much into this project or business, I'm sure one of recovering my investment or even recovering my capital.
In fact, I would just want to ask that is there any solution to this myriad of challenges?
There's a solution because you see, when you look at things that have been done in, say, for example, Lagos has developed embedded generation largely for their government facilities,
Okay.
and it's successful. They do have certain challenges sometimes, maybe liquidity challenges to pay for the energy used, but it functions. There's regular supply of CNG to the plants. They have a mini grid that is also functional. So what that tells us is that if we want to scale it up and do it on a larger scale, maybe most Lagos State facilities are 6 megawatts, 7 megawatts, or even 10, 15 megawatts. But if we want to scale it up, it's just to adopt the same proficiency practice that they do, that makes sure that they can generate and deliver power to the consumers and needed facilities.
Now, when you talk about scaling it up, is it better to centralize the industry or to decentralize it? My mind is that if we can have every local government do a megawatt for the local government.
But see, the cost is, you see, when you have 1 megawatt, 1 megawatt, 1 megawatt, in terms of personnel, you are doubling personnel. But let's say you have 10 local governments within proximity of each other. It's cheaper for you to have 10 megawatts in one location because your maintenance cost, personnel cost, you are doubling it. Maintenance cost, you are doubling it. So it does not make a commercial sense. Now, if you have a CNG truck supplying you electricity, gas, it's better it supplies in one location. It's cheaper for both of you than for that same truck to visit 10 local governments just to supply.
Well, finally, will you recommend that the solution of this problem is better handled by government rather than the public sector?
No, you see, the private sector is better positioned.
Private, okay.
Yeah, the private sector. I mean, all these electricity discos, the GENCOs, they are private sector.
Yes.
The government still retained equity in a number of them.
Of course.
Yes, but they are largely driven by private people. And government really has no business in business.
Okay.
It's better for the private sector to drive it and for less regulation.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
We've come to the end of this program, and we want to wish you your
Thank you very much.
adventure into politics.
It's not an adventure, but I also thank you.
So what is it if it's not an adventure?
You see, an adventure sometimes lacks purpose, or the purpose can be personal.
Okay.
My getting into politics is largely due to my experience in developmental projects
Like in the electricity.
in the electricity sector.
Okay.
You see that the people that are leading us do not, it's rudimentary that you must have regular supply of electricity. It's basic. It's not rocket science. There are companies here in Ibadan that do 10, 20 megawatts. Conveniently, they run their business. So if you now find that year in, year out, we're still complaining about, like a country as big as Nigeria, we're struggling for 5 megawatts. In a sane society, is ridiculous
Very well.
that we're struggling, a population of over 100 million, struggling to get, we're not talking gigawatts now, we're talking 5,000 megawatts. So we believe that if we're in politics and we're able to govern, it helps. The people in Lagos have done it. And they keep doing it to make sure that there's critical areas of the economy in Lagos State, there's electricity there.
I've listened to a lot of our politicians who are aspiring. I've not had anyone talk about electricity and how to solve that area of our development.
No, you see, for me, I've been involved in the energy sector, on the gas side and on the power side.
Okay.
And I have developed a power plant, or fully completed development. Development is the first stage of a power plant. You have to develop. That is both technically, regulatory, financially, commercially.
Okay.
We have done that. Now, were we able to get to the point of construction? No. The challenges we had were governmental.
Licensing.
Not like I said, fully developed. You see, that means you have your licenses, you have your environmental impact assessment,
Yes.
you have made your choice of engine, you have made your choice of fuel.
Okay.
The challenge we had then was fuel.
Okay.
Now, is the investors that want to bring their money, they want the project itself to secure itself.
Okay.
So that in event of default from the off-taker, they have recourse to
Yes.
the securities you have provided. Now, the pipeline was critical because that's the source of fuel for the project. And for them, they must have a form of security over the pipeline. Now, most transmission pipelines are owned by federal government. And federal government is not an investor or co-investor in your project. Why would federal government allow you to put a security wrap around their assets? But things are evolving positively.
It is on this positive note that I want us to call it a day on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again.
And I'm at your beck and call anytime you want me.
Well, viewers, it's reflections on Curling's TV, and we've had Barrister Akeem Agbaje with us. Stay tuned.
K Links TV, the leading experience.